Okay, fellow cooks, welcome to another You Better Can Bake video. And I'd like to start off by saying thank you for watching this cornbread video. You could be watching any other cornbread video, but you chose to watch mine, and I am grateful. Thank you so much. And I would love it if you just pause this video, look around at the ingredients, and go grab your ingredients and bake along with me. Okay, I assume you have your ingredients. Even if you don't, you can just watch as I bake this cornbread. So I'm going to start off by showing you the wet ingredients. So 1 minute in. So you can see that little egg, well, it's a one large egg hiding behind my bowl. So first here we have the 1 large egg, vegetable oil, which you need 1/3 cup. Then there is almond essence. This is a brand called Cool Runnings from Jamaica, but it's available in a lot of West Indian stores, probably where you live. If you live in Canada or the US or Australia or the UK, they probably have this brand on the shelves. It's very popular in Canada, that's for sure. Then this pure black vanilla from the DR. And then over here we have 1 cup of milk. You can use full fat milk or 3% milk. Sorry, 3% milk is full fat milk. You can use 2% or skim. Now to the dry ingredients. I already shared out my ingredients into the sifter. So I have 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of yellow cornmeal, and I have 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt in this sifter. Now this is this sifter I got from the dollar store, but you can find it on Amazon, I am sure. Then I have my 2/3 cup of sugar. I used 1/3 cup granulated sugar or white sugar and 1/3 cup of brown sugar. You know, 1 for the texture and 1 for the flavor. You know which is which. Then I have here my allspice. This is actually a brand that I found on Amazon. It's okay, it does the job. Here I have greased my non-stick pan with some butter or some margarine. If it wasn't a non-stick pan, I would have had to grease it and then flour it. Luckily, this is non-stick. My nifty little Betty Crocker. I think I also got this from the dollar store. But you know, Betty Crocker pans are sold most everywhere. Okay, so I've already preheated my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's nice and warm and ready for when I put my cornbread in. So I'm going to start off by pouring all my wet ingredients. I already started. And, you know, it's a little bit of a mess situation going on here with the milk, but that's fine. I subscribe to the Hig way of baking, or the Hugga. Let me say how the Danish say it. Now I'm cracking my egg once again. If the eggshell drops in, that's okay. You know, we'll get to it. Then I'm adding my pure black vanilla from the DR. I love this stuff. It's so strong and flavorful. Usually I'd stick to like my Jamaican vanilla, but it's good to try things. I'm in the habit of buying different ingredients when I visit these different countries. Yeah, almost every country I've been to, I've tried to bring back ingredients. So okay, I did get to that eggshell. It was so small, but it was getting to me. I'm going to use about 1/4 teaspoon of almond essence. You have to be careful with this flavoring because it can be very overpowering. And so it's more of a note. You don't want it to be the star of the show. So just a small amount. Now that we have all the wet ingredients, I'm going to get my Oh, I have to add my oil. Can't forget that. A third cup of vegetable oil. You can also use corn oil. Now that we have all the wet ingredients together, I'm going to go and grab my whisk. Give it a nice stir. Combine all the ingredients. Stir, stir, stir. Like I said, there is no, oh, only stir this amount of time because you don't want this, that. No, it's basically a simplistic way of baking. Easy, simple cornbread. Now that I've gotten all the wet ingredients together, it's time to sift all the dry ingredients that I've already placed in here. Like I said, I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of golden cornmeal from Yard, from Jamaica's Grace Jamaican cornmeal. And then I have my 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. I kind of contradict myself when I said that it doesn't matter if it's refined because it can be crude and simple according to the Hugger style, but you know, some things are just a work in progress because this is the way I was taught to do it in school when I took food and nutrition. They said, oh, you need to sift all your dry ingredients to make sure that everything is basically lump free. So I'm here sifting along. I could have easily just dumped everything in and then it would have just been fine. But, you know, I have my nifty little sifter, so I might as well use it. Hashtag no cooking tools left behind. I like to use up the things that I buy. So I have to justify buying them. So here I am singing and sifting and getting the job done. I could have easily just clicked it has a little click thing where you can click with your fingers, but then to speed up the process, I just tapped along to speed up the process. Because like I said, this is a quick and easy cornbread recipe. It's basically, for me, the last thing I would do after cooking a meal. So that while I was like plating out the food, this, you know, would be baked in that time period. So that by the time, you know, the food is plated and then we've finished eating, the cornbread is nice and hot and ready to go with some butter or some jam, whatever you choose. Okay, I think it's going down now. I think we're at the end. We're almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Yeah, just a little bit left. Yep, all done. So now that we have all of our dry ingredients prepped and ready to go, I like to add my allspice or whatever it is. If I use cinnamon or nutmeg, I don't sift it because these shaker bottles are basically doing the same job in a sense. See, it already has its own little holes for sifting, so I put that in last. Okay, so I'd say it's about a 1/4 teaspoon, more or less, just eyeballing it. Probably not even that much, just something to give it a little spice. You know, to take it up a notch from just a regular old cornbread to something soulful. So here I've dumped in my sugar as well. The 1/3 granulated sugar and 1/3 brown sugar. And then I grab a little fork and give it a stir. As you can see, the brown sugar lumps are there, and that's fine. You know, sugar, it does melt. And now it's time to add the wet ingredients. There you have it. And now I'm gonna get my whisk. And I'm just gonna stir. I could have also used a spoon. But like I said, I like to use my things that I buy. I'm not going to have them sitting there collecting dust when I can use my fancy whisk. Listen, I am known to break whisks. I don't know what it is. Tell me if the same thing happens to you. I had a metal whisk before this. It was like metal with a plastic handle. I think it was a Betty Crocker. Not putting you on blast or throwing you under the bus, Betty Crocker, but that didn't last me more than a year. I don't even think it lasted me 6 months. So this whisk is a new whisk. And I'm going to see how long this whisk lasts. Comment below if you can recommend a whisk that would last me longer than a year. That would be great. Okay, so now it's time to pour the mixture into the already prepped loaf tin. It's a non-stick pan, so I only greased it with butter. Like I said, if it was not non-stick, I would have had to grease it with butter and then sprinkled flour. Maybe I should do a video showing how I do that. Look out for that. How to grease a tin that's not non-stick. Okay, so now this is ready to go in the oven. I'm going to put it on the middle rack so that it bakes evenly. Not that it matters if it came out looking a bit lumpy. You know, it's all about the flavor here.